Sweet Lemons.
I mean, they like the others, but they really love
Yeah.
Casa. And I was like, yeah, man, I could have literally just done this one for the entire time. And none of you would have complained at all. I just had James Acaster as a compare for the evening. That would have been totally cool. I could see so many of your faces change when I started with Boris Johnson. That was not a good way to start. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. He's such a nice guy, and he's such a funny comic.
He is
like he's
hilarious.
really, really good at what he does.
He is hilarious. He has. Are we recording? Are we?
Yes.
Oh,
Sweet,
nice.
sweet.
Great.
There we go. Yeah. What a beautiful intro.
God,
What
I love
a
that.
Beautiful intro.
That's my producer, man. No, and like I love him because he's so funny. Because like he has this one joke which I won't tell because it'll ruin it. But he has this one joke about being fired from Foot Locker because he loves feet. He loves the feet too much, and that honestly shattered me when I saw it.
So good.
Because I did Top Secret Comedy Club with him once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was like opening, and I was like in the middle, and like I had no idea who he was, and I just watched him kill. Because
He's so funny.
yeah, because he went to Edinburgh last year, and he did like just 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like he was just like bulletproof 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I was like watching him prepare it, and I saw him a couple times, and just seeing the jokes like change over time was just incredible.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. I saw him win I can't remember what he won. He won.
I think it was like Best Act
Yeah,
or something
Best act. Like
at the
something
Fringe.
really top stuff. And yeah, he's a really funny comic.
Yeah, no, he is. Like, and it's so weird because it's like such niche stuff as well.
Yeah.
But like niche in that, like, it's not even the references; it's just the way he speaks.
Yeah,
It's just
and
so
it just doesn't
unlike
make
anyone.
any sense. Like he just like sometimes will just kind of go. He will like in the middle of a conversation and he'll go, "Look at the board." And you just kind of turn around and just see this thing on the screen, and it's like this weird decrepit little creature or something. You're like, that's a bit weird, but I really love it. Like he's so funny.
Nah, he's good. So like, so yeah, you're an impressionist.
I am indeed.
Is that how you define yourself?
I mean, in the comedy sphere, probably that's the closest I can get to to a good kind of representation of what I do. Yeah,
I see.
Yeah,
I see. So like, tell me. So how did you get into impressions? What do you do now? Like, how did all this start?
yeah. So I started with because I've always wanted to be an actor. That's always been my main thing.
Yeah.
And I still act now and everything. But when I was growing up, I was like. I lived in South Africa for 4 years.
Oh, huge.
And so the whole time I was there in Durban, there wasn't like much opportunity for like acting and stuff. And
of course.
the only time I could ever do any music was like in like a church choir and things like
Yeah.
that. And so when I came back to the UK, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew I wanted to be an actor. I was like, I'm dedicated to doing this. And so I did like drama GCSE, and one of our first assignments was you need to go find a monologue and you need to do it. And the only time I'd ever heard like monologue used was in comedy.
Of course.
And because I used to love Live at the Apollo, that was like my favorite thing growing up.
Yeah.
And so I was like kind of obsessed with Michael McIntyre at the time.
Weren't we all?
Weren't we all?
Now you've got his haircut.
Yeah, exactly. And so I came in and I'd like learned the whole, like, do you know the man draw sketch?
No, I don't know.
It's like every man's got a man jaw.
Yes,
There'll be
yeah.
things he thinks there'll be nails in the man jaw.
Oh my
Indeterminate use.
How's-
Never going to use these nails. They stay. They live in the.
You know
man
what?
jaw.
I was doing the stupid thing I was about to say. I was about to be like, that's such a good impression.
Well, not all of mine are, so
Yeah.
it's appreciated. But it was I went in and I did it. And I think my whole class was kind of slightly confused. They were all doing like Romeo and Juliet and stuff, and I was there doing like a comedy monologue.
Yeah.
And my teacher came up to me and was like, really good. Not quite what we were after, but you're very good at impressions. You should keep at that. And so it was always in the back of my head for quite a long time. And then I finished drama school, and obviously we went into lockdown, and my friends had kind of said to me, oh, like, dude, you're like, you know, the silly little impressions you do for us, they're really good, man.
Yeah.
You put them on TikTok. So I did this like one TikTok of me doing Boris Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
It was the stupidest video. It was literally like, there was this trend going around of like, I can't even really remember. It was like the beginning to a Playboy Carti song.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
people were putting their own voice over it.
Yeah,
like, all these
yeah.
like attractive girls putting their own voice over it. And then I was like, oh, let me put Boris Johnson over it. That'd be so funny. And so I was like, I'm going to take you to Jupiter. You know, I'm going to, you know, because I'm going to, you know, and that was like the intro. And then that got like 60K views and like straight away. And I was like, whoa, okay, I guess this is kind of viable. So throughout 2020, I posted as much as I could, and then I think I got up to like 40K followers at the beginning of 2021, and then I was like, no, okay, I'm going to really take this seriously, and I like posted every single day of 2021.
Damn.
Without fail.
Damn. Yeah. That is grind.
Yeah.
That is grind.
And I went from like 40K to up to 150.
Yeah.
And then last year I didn't post as much. I the beginning of the year I did quite well, but I didn't post as much, and I went up to, I think, 200K, which is what I'm on now. And this year I've been terrible at posting, but I've got to get back into it because Rob, who you had on the show, I've been hanging out with him and a few other people who do TikTok and stuff, and it's just like I'm just wasting it. Do you know what I mean? I've got this platform.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to use it. I need to utilize it. But yeah, that's how I got into the Impressions in the first place. Yeah,
I see. And do you have a day job? Are you an actor?
I do a few different things. So I work at this very wanky private members club.
Yes. What's it called?
It's called.
Oh, is it? Is it?
Yeah.
One of my friends is a member of the Reform Club.
Oh God, that's even more. That's like
that is
I went there for the first time like a month ago. It was crazy.
It is silly. It's silly. Yeah, your boy's gonna be a member soon.
Nice.
Yeah. So you work at yours?
Yeah, I work part time there, just kind of like at the front, and then also do the acting and voice work, which is very fun. Just got signed to a new agency, so hopefully I actually get some some acting work through quite soon. And then that's what takes me over.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. So like with the voices, what is like the key? Like how do you learn an impression?
Well, it's funny because I've never, like, up until recently, I've never really learned an impression.
Okay.
Like it was kind of, Boris came really naturally because he was on the news the whole time. He was obviously Prime Minister at the time, and like I was just hearing him constantly. And then I would you kind of tell stories and like, oh, did you hear Boris Johnson say, Pippa Pigwell? And then they go, whoa, you just channeled the spirit of Boris Johnson for a moment. And then I was like, oh, I guess I did. That's very strange. And then all of a sudden, I had this whole kind of metamorphosis, and my hair started turning blonde. And no, it was just kind of happened naturally. But then recently I've been trying to like learn impressions. So I've been like, my most recent one I've been trying to do is Rishi Sunak.
Yes.
And the thing is, I got quite, so I have I don't know if I'd really call him a mentor, but a guy that like I've known for a little while now, who's been really like helpful with my impressions. A guy called John Coleshaw, who's quite like a famous impressionist, and he was always like, well, just like, and because I was asking him advice about it, like, because I did my Boris Johnson for him and stuff, and he was like, that's really, really good. That's really, really good. And we kind of, every time we see each other, we do this kind of like back and forth of Boris Johnson, because he does Boris Johnson as well. But he was like, just listen to like, don't like try and listen to loads of their stuff. Just get like one clip and try and listen to it over and over again. And then I did that with Rishi Sunak with so I have friends who are aristocrats. I have friends who are upper class. I have friends who are middle class. I have friends who are working class. No, actually, I'm sorry. I don't have any friends who are working class. But that was the one that really got that, and the one where he goes, he's like, did you know that I love Coke? You know that I'm effectively a Coke addict. So it's really, I mean, of course, like Coca-Cola. And yeah, but it's, I kind of listened to those two clips over and over again, and then kind of eventually you get the voice. Yeah. And like, it's also kind of, I think people don't realize how much trial and error you have to do, because you like, I do it for people as much as possible, which I'm sure, I'm so sorry, my friends, which is, I apologize for having to do that constantly, but they'll kind of go, oh yeah, like it's almost there. And then if they go, that's really good, I'm like, okay, I've got it. Now I can start working on like the whole voice and the persona. Because like, that's another part of it, is like with Boris, for example, like you got to really like, you've got to hunch your back and you've got to lean forward. You've got to do this the entire time. He's always pointing with the knuckle on the top of his hand. It's like a really, it's like this is reeling in the words he's trying to say. Like, yes. But they've all got their own, like James is like up here. He's very sturdy. He keeps his arms close to his sides because he doesn't like touching people. Like, he's very like kind of formed to himself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of, there's a few different elements to it, but I think that's the kind of main advice I always give people, is just like listen over and over again to one clip. And normally, weirdly, once you've got that one clip, it kind of just translates into the rest of the voice. Like you might have to listen to a few different things, but as long as you've got like a fairly sturdy clip, it will kind of cover most of the sounds that person makes.
And so how many impressions do you have now, do you think?
I don't know, because It's really annoying because I wish I was a bit more confident with my impressions. I'd say I have about 30 that are right.
Yeah.
But then there's only like 5 to 10 that I'm really like super confident.
I mean, that's more than me or most people. Damn, son. So do you think like with impressions, is it something that like a gift, or is it something you can just work on like as a skill?
Well, I definitely think it's something you can work on as a skill, 100%. Yeah. I think anyone can do impressions. I think the thing that was lucky for me is the fact that I was 14 when I first did that Michael McIntyre, and someone said, "You're quite good at that."
Yeah.
And then from there, I just kind of like did it as much as I could, and so I had the advantage of doing it young. But you know, loads of people have the advantage of doing stuff young. And like people still outdo them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's kids who are like child actors, like you know, Haley Joel Osment. You don't really see him anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he did his child thing and then he's done.
Hey, he was in The Boys.
He was in The Boys.
That's true.
He was great in The Boys.
I watched that. I showed my girlfriend The Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense. For the first time. I thought it was just Sixth Sense, but it's The Sixth Sense.
The Sixth Sense. Yeah, you got to get that there.
You got to get that.
Very important.
It's the only Sixth Sense. Have you watched it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, great
honestly,
film.
It is incredible.
Such a great film.
I think that is M. Night Shyamalan's only good film.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he loves a twist, but it's just like, it's got to be founded in something. Do you know what I mean? Like The Forest, it's just like, they're in the... Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert. Came out 15 years ago. They're in the modern world, and they're in a cult. It's like, that's really uninteresting. You just see a car drive by, and you're like, oh, that kind of... All right.
Okay,
you just completely took me out of the film.
Yeah.
Is that like a background extra that just made it into the... Oh, no, that's actually part of the plot. Okay, fair
exactly.
enough.
Yeah, like that's probably like his... I mean, that's definitely his best one.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, even because I'd never watched it before, because I knew the twist. Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert, sorry.
Bruce Willis was dead the whole time.
The whole time.
And I knew the twist going in, and maybe it's because I knew it. But when I was watching it, I was like, this motherfucker's dead. Like,
really?
Because like he's with his wife the whole time, and she's just not responding to him. And it's meant to be like, oh, their marriage is falling apart.
Yeah.
He's not spending any time with her because he's with this like 7-year-old boy all the time.
Yeah.
No problem with that whatsoever. But like
the fact he's dead.
Exactly.
He's like, I literally cannot see you.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm going to dinner by myself.
And also, what I didn't realize is they show him being shot at the beginning.
Do they?
Of The Sixth Sense, yeah. This crazy one of.
I really love how you call it The Sixth Sense. I know that's the name.
It is the
but it's like, at the beginning of The Sixth Sense. Yeah, guys, let's make sure that we know that it's The Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense is so much better as a name.
Of course.
It is The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, that was the first horror film I ever watched. As a kid, actually, yeah. And I remember being really confused because I didn't get the twist. I just was like, what's going on? Is he got shot, but I'm assuming he like survived.
He survived
because he's been there the whole
time.
And then my mum was like, "No, that's the point. He's a ghost." And I went, "Oh!" My whole life changed. I was like, "Wow,
what a twist!"
And then I watched all of M. Night Shyamalan's films and was thoroughly disappointed.
Always. What is that? Signs is probably the only one that's almost good.
That's not true. As soon as those aliens hit the Earth, they should have died. Our whole atmosphere is like water. We have water in the air and rain.
Yeah.
There's no way they could have made it through those cornfields. They were covered in dew. There's no way. They were running through. They're just like, I'm crumbling, I'm dying. And then somehow, what's his name? What's the guy who had a rap career and almost killed an old Asian man? What's that guy called?
Marky Mark.
Marky Mark. Yeah, Marky Mark.
I was never going to get
He's in that, isn't he?
Yes, I think he is. But like the fact that that's how you think of Mark Wahlberg.
Because not enough people know about that. He had a whole career after just brutally assaulting. This is great for a comedy podcast. Brutally assaulting an old Asian man.
Sweet lemons. Whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's no way those. I mean, the ones I actually like are Glass and Split, and the ones that are in the. Is it Unbroken? The other one.
Yeah.
Those are good. Those are like good, like strong superhero films. Yeah. They're not great in terms of film films, but
but that's good. Yeah, for what they are. What else? The Happening is hilarious.
I don't know if I've seen The Happening.
Oh, you have to see.
Which was The Happening?
The Happening is the one where like the trees are like evil, and like.
No way.
Yeah, it's
the
like
trees are evil.
Yeah, it's like Mark Wahlberg is in it.
Okay,
Yes.
I got them confused.
Yes, I think
I
you
got
did.
them confused.
Yeah.
I got them confused.
Yeah.
Because is it Joaquin Phoenix is in the other?
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
okay,
yeah.
okay, I got
It's
them.
like it's the one.
Sorry, Joaquin Phoenix. That's terrible to
Sorry,
confuse with
Joaquin.
Mark Goldberg. Goldberg?
Yeah, Mark
Wahlberg.
Goldberg. Yeah, no, because he's a very, whatever you think about him, whoever he may or may have not beaten up, he's
Yeah.
a very talented actor.
Yeah.
And M. Night Shyamalan managed to take all of that talent away,
Right.
and create the happening film.
Yeah.
It's incredible. You
He
should
just
watch
breathes really hard. He's like, look, guys.
It's like, wow.
What's going on? There's aliens. They're outside.
Can you do Owen Wilson?
Oh, I can do it. Of
can.
course I can do it. Owen Wilson. I mean, I don't know how good it is, but I was like, to be fair, actually, another tip, and this is a bad tip. I can't believe I'm sharing this, but a lot of my impressions come from other impressionists figuring them out first, and then there's something about it when I listen to another impressionist doing it. I'm like, maybe it's because I'm cross-referencing them with the actual person.
Yeah.
I go, oh, okay, I can figure out how to do it now. Because actually, and what's his name? Josh Berry. He's another like online impressionist. I'll give him full credit because when I first started doing my James Acaster, he'd just come out with a video going, James Acaster cooking pasta, and I just did that over and over and over again in my head until eventually I got the voice. But yeah, Owen Wilson, I also nicked off another. This was when I was like 15, but I nicked off another impressionist. I was like, wow, what an amazing podcast you've got. It's really, I love that. Who's that guy? Who's that? That looks like a light-skinned version of yourself. That's fantastic.
It does. It does.
I was climbing the Himalayas and I saw a deity that looked just like that.
Oh God. Yeah, that is a good Owen Wilson. That's a good Owen Wilson.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think the thing about impressions is it seems like it's not sounding like the person. It's kind of like the voice equivalent of a caricature.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to get all the like crucial things together that are like this person is known for saying, and it kind of brings it together.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. Like, I remember there was a period in my TikTok where I was like, oh, I'm gonna really try and like properly sound like Boris Johnson. I'm gonna do my best affectation of this guy, and it just didn't play as well. Me going kind of yes. So what we're going to be doing with Brexit going forward is we're going to need, of course, to that's like how he actually sounds. That is like. But if you want it to be funny, you need to do like of course. So what we are going to be doing with the Brexit is we are going to of course push forward a movement out of the United Kingdom and into the EU. You got to really go for it if you want it to be funny. But yeah. So it's kind of exactly how you put it. It's like it's like a caricature of the person, so that it becomes quite funny.
Yeah, because even like James Acaster, like he doesn't sound like that.
No, that's
anymore.
The thing. This really,
that's the weird thing. He's changed his voice.
I did a video the other day where he was doing I think he was talking about his new music and stuff, and he takes it quite seriously, which is lovely. It was great. It's nice to diversify the different things you do. But he was like, there was like a video of him going, yeah, guys, so I'm now in it, he's like really like the squeak has gone from his voice, and he's like, yeah, I'm doing this new thing, this new music, and I hope you enjoy it. And like I did a stitch of it on TikTok being like, so, what's happened to my voice? James Acaster doesn't sound like James Acaster anymore. This is really sad. This is so sad. I can't believe it.
And like, he doesn't.
And people were commenting like, yeah, what's happened to him, man? But then as soon as he's back in, because I had the coolest experience of my entire impressioning career the other day. I was at his gig, the Heckler's Welcome,
and
I went with a couple of mates.
Wait, what is like the premise of that? Because I only know the title.
Yeah, no, I think the whole thing was like he'd become really disillusioned with stand-up comedy because he was going and he was just getting these terrible responses from people. Like he'd go anywhere, kind of, a bit further out, and he'd get people like shouting and like standing up, and apparently he just didn't know really how to handle it. And so he wanted to do the whole tour so that he could handle these kind of people that were going to heckle him in his normal shows, but like from a friendly standpoint. Most of the people that were at this show trying to like friendly heckle.
Interesting. Yeah, because sorry to interrupt.
No.
But like no, because I had him on my old podcast.
Oh really?
Yeah. So he was. I got the chance to talk to him, and he was like very like disillusioned with stand up.
Yeah.
He sounded like he was never going to do it again because he was like
Well, that's what he said in this. He was kind of thinking to himself like I didn't know whether I was going to come back. Like
yeah. No, I'm not surprised because he was like, I think he got to a point where he was like, I feel like I'm doing a character, like I'm not really being able to be myself, blah blah blah. Like, did you watch Cold Lasagna?
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
It's so good.
It's so good. And even in that, you can kind of see how he's no more like light-hearted James Acaster or whatever. It's like,
he's got sunglasses on. He's taking it serious, man. This is serious stuff. I'm talking about real life topics. Brexit. No, like he's in the past one.
Yeah, he's in therapy now. He's in therapy.
Yeah. I'm in therapy, man. Game therapy. It's like a real 180 from his other stuff, which is so like whimsical. I'd say it's such a good way to describe like his was it his first stand-up special and repertoire?
What, Cold Lasagna?
No, Repertoire.
Oh, Repertoire. Yeah, that was his first big one.
So whimsical and so like. Oh, just great! Like, but you could tell that it was like a very played up character.
He definitely did.
Yeah.
So what happened to your?
Oh yeah, so I went along. The thing was like I really wanted to go, but I didn't get tickets. And then one of my best mates, shout out Ollie, he was like, "Oh, I actually can't go now to the gig. Do you want to go? Do you want my ticket?" And I was like, "Oh yeah. I'd love your ticket." He was like, "Oh, you'll be sitting next to a couple of friends of mine," and I'd met them once, so I didn't know them particularly well. And so I was like, this would be a really good opportunity for me to do my impression of James Acaster like in the crowd. Yeah. But also I'm sat next to two people that like I don't know that well and will probably think I'm a massive wanker if I just shout it out. And so I go through the first half and there's like this perfect opportunity. At one point he was talking about impressions and I was like, this would be a really good point. But I was like, no, I'll leave it. We got to halfway through and Harry, the guy who I sat with, was like, why didn't you do your impression, man? What are you doing? He was like, you got to do the impression. I was like, okay, fair. So I went to the bar and I like got a shot of whiskey, and then a beer, and I like went back and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And he gets in like halfway through the second half, and he's like, I knew me and my girlfriend were perfect for each other because she once took a meme of a horse to the hairdresser to describe what she wanted done to her hair. And I was like, great, that's so funny. That does fit the description of exactly what I would imagine James Acaster would be with. Other than someone who was into Mr. Bean. But it was, and then he goes, what if anyone's ever taken a meme of me to the hairdresser, walked in with a meme from Bake Off, walked out with a haircut like Paul Hollywood. and then he goes like, I'm sure you all know the meme I'm talking about. And I was like, this is a golden opportunity.
Yes, the god.
This is, and there was like a good 3 second gap after you said, I was like, this is prime opportunity for me to do this. I like didn't even look across because I was like, I can't look at these guys right now. Yeah. And I went, started making it, had a breakdown. Bon appetit! It was like must have been like a 500 capacity venue. It was the Roundhouse in Camden. Yeah. And every single person there lost it. They were like fully creasing. It was so good. And like it died down and he was like, yeah, that's exactly what that moment was missing. Subtext. Thanks very much. And he was like, a very good impression though, unless you just sound like that, in which case I'm very sorry. And then I was like, and then he was like, he went back to the thing he'd done in the first half about impressions. He was like, oh, imagine, because basically the story was that he had wanted to enter a school talent show to do an impression, but didn't know how to do any. Yeah. So he wanted to do one of Prince Charles. Yeah. And so he went home, he stood in front of his mirror and he's like, I'm going to try and do this Prince Charles impression. He goes to do it, does it once, and it's so bad that he ends up crying for about an hour and a half afterwards. So he's like, that was the end of my impressions career. Never did another impression after that. And he goes, imagine if you'd been in my school talent show. Not only is that a better impression than any impression I can do, that's a better impression of me than me. And I was like, and so in response, I was like, fair play, man. Fair play. And then it was quite funny because like he was trying to move on and then like the audience was like laughing like slightly over what I was saying. Yeah. So I went, no, shut. Okay, be quiet. And he was like, do that one more time. And I was like, fair play, man. Fair play. He's like, that's a really weirdly good impression. I don't like the fact that you're just in the audience for the rest of my show. am I supposed to carry on when there's a man with my voice just sitting up there somewhere that I can't even see? I was like thinking, what if I'm mute from the future? I was going to shout like, what if I'm mute from the future? And he had no idea. But no, I was going to let him carry on with his thing.
Yeah,
but then he was like, right. The end of it was, he was like, right, I want you to memorize the rest of my set. We'll get you on at the end. You can do the second half again. Everyone gets an extra half the ticket of their payment back. And that was such a cool moment. It was, and he was really nice about it as well. Which, like, I was worried that he would kind of be like, right, I'm just going to completely move on, ignore this guy because he's a total arsehole.
I mean, it's a show called Heckler's Welcome.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to.
That's a very nice heckle.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm such a fan of you that I've learnt your voice. Here you go, a present from me to you.
Exactly. Yeah. So, did anyone like do mean heckles?
Oh yeah, there were some really bad heckles that night. Like, you could tell that these people would come in there and just like, it's like, oh yeah, geezer, I'm gonna fuck it. Oh, you're gonna watch this, mate. I'm gonna get him.
This is just your impression of a geezer.
Yeah, just a geezer.
Just
He's
a
like,
geezer.
because he was sat directly in front of me to the left with like 3 blokes.
Yeah.
And after I did, because that was the first heckle of the night, like halfway through the second half, me doing my impression. And I think, sadly, as much as I was glad that I did it, I think it slightly opened it up to everyone else then doing their little heckles.
I see.
And a guy in front of me, completely out of nowhere, just kind of went, just like in the middle of just like quite a he was talking about like how he was thinking about giving up comedy and stuff, and in the middle of it he just goes, your mum should have swallowed you. And everyone just looked, no one really laughed, and everyone just kind of looked around like, did you really just say that now? That was a really bizarre and inappropriate time to choose to do that. Like, I get it. You've read the poster. We understand. You want to come in here and you want to do a little heckle to yourself, but that's bad.
That's so funny.
And then I think I can't really remember this because I was buzzing at this point. I was like, I couldn't hear the rest of the set because I was just like, so like, I can't believe you just heard my impression. But earlier in the thing, James had said that his normal response, he'd been at a thing where someone was really mean about his mum, and his response was, my mum died really recently, and the whole crowd just died because he was like not laughed, just like literally was dead for the rest of the evening because they were like, oh my god, that man's just said something about his mum and his mum's dead recently. That's really bad. And so, of course, the guy then obviously completely forgot about that in the beginning, and then said, oh, your mum should have swallowed you, and James just went, just so you know, my mum's dead really recently. And like everyone like lost it because obviously it was a callback that we knew that his mum was dead. But it was so good. And he really like warmed, like, and then I think someone else called out like, your girlfriend left you for Mr. Bean. And he was like, I told you that. I said that to you. You can't then use that against me. That's not how that works. I'm literally giving you that on a silver platter. You got to do your own research, man. If I make fun of myself about it first, you can't then use it against me. And then, but yeah, no, it was a great night. He's a really good comic. He's genuinely just so solid every time.
He is so talented, and it's like he's one of those people that now there's loads of impersonators of. Like
because he's
comedy.
So good. Yeah,
like he's almost created a new genre.
Yeah, literally, it's so true.
Yeah, which is like so mad. It's so mad. Like from talking to him, it was like because the weirdest thing before the conversation, I had this podcast called Captain My Captain, where like we would essentially get like experienced comedians on, and they would talk to me as a new comic, basically.
Right.
And they would teach me about comedy. And like before going on, the weirdest thing for me was like, what level of reality does James Acaster exist on?
Yeah.
Like, is this him? Is it a character? Is it an exaggeration of him? Like, because he's such a bizarre individual that I was like, because every like person on stage is kind of an exaggeration of themselves.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But like for him, I was so fascinated to see like where is the real person? Because even in his own podcast, like Off Menu, he is still James Acaster, the comedian. He's not like the person.
He's not like his normal self. Like you'll catch glimpses of that on like videos, especially when he's talking about his music. He's
exactly,
just like, quite chilled.
Exactly, yeah. But from speaking to him, like I see now, it's like, oh no, it's this. The act is him, but the person is actually quite an introspective person. Yeah, like he actually does. Like, he's quite like a thinking person. Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah, and it's actually really mad because like if you met him, you probably wouldn't think he's a comedian. Yeah, because like because I mean, all comedians on some level are extroverted. I'd say
you kind of have to be.
You kind of have to be, but like, I think the classic stand-up is like you're extroverted, but you also like being by yourself.
Yeah.
You probably had a lot of friends at school, but you didn't have one group that you hung out with. You probably had multiple little groups that you kind of enjoyed being around, but you didn't want to have like one group that you identified with. But like he's like the only one I've met where I'm like, I kind of get this introverted.
Yeah,
vibe.
proper introvert.
Yeah,
it's like almost like he's kind of been forced into stand-up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's like, I just woke up one day, I was on stage, I had this microphone in my hand and my silly little voice, and then everyone just loved me.
And I was undeniable as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So what I wanted to do, because it's very rare that you get an impressionist as talented as yourself.
Thank you.
Oh, please. What I wanted to do is I've got the lyrics to "Baby Got Back." Oh, Sir Mix-a-Lot.
A classic.
Because I was like,
and not one I've done on my TikTok either. I've
really?
done so many songs on my TikTok as different, like my different impressions. Never done this one.
Never done this. It's such a classic. Okay, so I've got 2 screenshots. So I've got the beginning and the middle classic part.
Perfect.
So you can read the "Oh my God, Becky" if you want. How about you read "Oh my God, Becky" as Boris Johnson, that paragraph, and then
Wait, is that just? Are they just talking at the beginning?
Yeah, it goes, "Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt."
It's so. Of course, oh my God, Becky, look at her bodacious butt. It is so big. She looks like one of those, rap guys' girlfriends. But you know, who understands those rap guys? They only talk to her because she looks like a total, of course, prostitute. I mean, her butt, of course, is so big that I can't believe it. It's just so round, and it looks out there. I mean, gross. I mean, gross. Of course. I mean, I'm still looking, but it's so gross. Of course, yes. And I'm not going to say that last line because I feel like, as Boris Johnson, it might be a bit bad if you read that last line. Might not be the best. Don't know if I want that as a soundbite.
I've never looked at that. It just says, "She's just so black."
Yeah, that's just the last line of that section. Wow.
Dude,
how have I never noticed that before?
That's so
crazy.
Funny. Okay, fine.
Should we do a little? Should I do Jay's?
Yeah, Jay Cancer is the second stanza.
Jay Cancer is also he goes. This is good. Okay. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. You other mothers can't deny that when a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung. Want to pull up? What's his name? Want to pull up your tongue? Tongue. It says tough here. Yeah, I always thought it was tongue. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Because you noticed that butt was stuffed. Deep in the jeans she's wearing, I'm hooked and I can't stop staring. Oh, baby, I want to get with ya. I'll take your picture. My homeboy's trying to warn me, but that butt, it makes me so horny. Oh, Rumpelstiltskin, want to get me in your Benz? Well, use me, because you ain't an average groupie. I've seen her dancing. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
That was incredible.
Thank you. Thanks.
Jay Cancer would be so proud.
Oh, I'm sure he would. I'm sure he'd love that and not immediately want me to die on the spot.
No, that's mad. Wow, man, you're so very talented.
I should have done something from Lemonade. He loves Lemonade.
Does he?
You know, the Beyonce album.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
He always says, was it 2016 he said was the best year for music ever?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Weird statement. I guess kind of true, maybe.
Kind of true. I think because no one really thinks about it, everyone will always think like really old to think the best year for music. But I suppose collectively.
Yeah. What type of music do you like?
What type of music do I like? That's a good question. I listen to a lot of been really into jazz recently.
Really?
Yeah, non-vocal jazz. Just
like old jazz or
like Chet Baker.
Oh, damn, son. You're in.
I'm in.
You're in the world.
Yeah. Chet Baker, and then I listen to a lot of kind of just very sad music. Always just sad music.
You're a sad boy.
I'm a sad boy. What can I say? It's always just like Leonard Cohen. Jeff Buckley.
Yeah.
And then like jumping to the modern day Phoebe Bridgers.
Nice.
Boy Genius and that sort of
You're
stuff.
very deep.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know you had depth.
I have depth. No, guys, I'm not just a pretty face and a bunch of impressions. I also have depth in it.
Yeah, no, I love
That's
that.
the thing. Everyone gets to know the impressions. They never get to
know
know
you
the real me.
see.
You know, that was like, James, Boris, why are you never saying Tommy? You know, what's that about? Where's the love for the T-man?
The T-Diz. T-Diz himself. Okay.
T's in pain. T-pain.
I forgot about T-Pain.
T-Pain rocks. I love T-Pain.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, well, he was. Yeah, he was like the guy who probably popularized the auto-tune voice. Yeah.
You know, I was watching a clip of him the other day, and it's actually so sad. What was his? I don't think it was. Maybe it was Pharrell.
Yeah.
I think they were on a plane together once, and Pharrell went to. This is so random. Sorry.
Yeah.
He like went. He took him to the back of the plane. And he was like, "Yeah, man, I think you ruined music." And he was like, "What?" And this dude, like, he really admired Pharrell and was like, it was one of his
Pharrell's
friends.
one of like the pop gods.
Yeah, truly. And he was like, "Yeah, man, I really think you ruined music." Yeah.
How? Like,
because he did the auto-tune thing.
Yeah.
He's like, now everyone's doing it and it sucks. And like, he was like, wow.
Things he kind of did.
Yeah. And then he was like, I went into like a severe depression after that and didn't make music.
Damn.
Tough.
You got to get that bag though.
Yeah.
If you're him.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's what makes you money, then you got to
he's so funny. I love his music. It's something unique. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it definitely is. That's a unique sound.
Yeah.
Because I recently got back into like 2000s hip hop and all that stuff. But like I also like jazz. Jazz is a big one because I learned the saxophone.
Oh, same.
You actually?
Yeah. When I was a kid.
Yeah.
I did saxophone as a kid. I don't know why. This was such a weird thing for my mom to say.
Yeah.
She was like, I was like considering doing guitar or drums or something like that, and then she was like, "No, do saxophone. Like that would be like, women will love you when you're older."
Damn!
I was like, I did it, and then I was like, I've never met a girl who was like in her fucking bio on Hinge is like, yeah, I fucking love a saxophone. No one's ever said that. Also, like if you're gonna like, you can't sing whilst you're playing saxophone. Also, the vision in my head of me is like, as a child, just like thinking to my older self, also had a six-pack. That did not happen. It's like in a penthouse, just like with a girl like splayed out on the sofa, just like playing the saxophone to her. I was just like, that's definitely gonna happen at some point in my life. My mum really set me up on that one.
And can also talk about how your mum was your wingman.
Yeah, my mum has always been my wingman.
Just setting you up.
There was actually one time I went on holiday with my mate, and it was like a family holiday. We were like 15, 16. And we were like at this it must have been it must have been like just 18.
Yeah.
Because I was in a bar and I was drinking, so I must have been just 18. And we went to this place, and it's like normally like this place in south of Spain where there's like a bunch of young people.
Yeah.
And like my parents were like, oh, we can have our like nice relax, and then Tommy and Alex, me and my mate, could go off and like chill with young people.
Yeah.
We got there just after the season had kind of like come to an end, and there was no one there.
Yeah.
There was like closest person to my age was about 37.
Damn.
And so I was like, oh, this is so annoying. And so me and Alex are just kind of like talking about it in the bar, like having a pint, and in walks these like two girls our age, very attractive.
Yeah.
Come in, look at us, giggle, and then run out. And we're like, okay, what was that? And we're kind of like, what do we do? Do we follow? And then like they come back in, and then one of them comes up to me and goes, "Are you Tommy?" And I went, "Yeah." And then they were like, "Your mum's at the bar around the corner. She saw us and like kind of grabbed us and said, there's two young attractive boys in there. You need to go in and have a drink with them." Because my mum felt so bad that we'd gone on this holiday and there was no one our age. And she literally was just like, yeah, these two will do. Go in there and have a drink with them now.
Your mum's sorting you
Yeah,
out,
no, she really, she's always been a big man for me.
That's incredible.
Take her to clubs and all. She's like going around, just like, yeah, you go over here. My son, he's very good looking dude. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you are, my friend. You got that mustache.
Stop. This is really new.
Is it?
This is like a really new thing for me. I was like, a girl that I was seeing was like, oh, I'm into Paul Mescal. And I was like, no, I'm just kidding. No, I was just like, I don't know. I came back. I went on a writer's retreat.
Yeah.
And I came back and I hadn't taken my razor, so I had a little bit of scruff. And like shaved it down, and then I like left the mustache just to see. And I was like, oh, okay, that's all right. And then I left it, and I've been growing it for like a few weeks now, and it's like, okay, yeah, not bad. I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
Plus, it opens a whole world of impressions.
Yeah, exactly. Who's got a mustache? Maybe I should work on a Paul Mescal.
Yes, you could actually.
I really like doing. No, I'm not even going to try. That was so far off.
Someone as good as you at impressions doesn't need to be embarrassed by a bad impression. Like, you've more than proven your skill.
I did one the other day, and someone thought it was someone completely different. I was genuinely so, but I think I tried to do Jeff Goldblum, and I think they thought I was Christopher Walken.
I get that kind of.
Yeah.
So wait, let's go. So like, okay, so you can do Owen Wilson, Rishi. I'd count that Rishi. Bojo. You can do James A. Caster.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. What else?
Michael McIntyre.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Is one. Who else can I do? Well, I can do like kind of do Jamie Dimitri, but I can only do him as Staff.
Yeah.
Staff as Fats. And then Jeff Goldblum, I think I can kind of do.
Yeah.
I kind of need a list. I need to write a list down of all the different impressions I can do. I can do one that I always thought that I was quite good at, which is quite funny because it's my only female impression.
Yeah.
Is Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore.
Yeah. Because she's got this like very particular lisp when she speaks. She's like, so it was such an honor working with Steven Spielberg at such a young age because, you know, I was a little loosey-goosey. So that was great. Now I've got my own kind of talk show where I talk to people and we share this connection. It's so good. It's so lovely. I just love it. But obviously about 10 octaves lower than what she speaks. But it's just the cadence of it. I always thought was like, I can do that. I can do that. But yeah, my Jeff Goldblum, I think I'm quite happy with my Jeff Goldblum. But
let's go.
I got absolutely slated for it. It was I'm here on this fantastic podcast. It's called Sweet Lemons. Isn't that a juxtaposition, as it were, as it is? We've got Sweet Lemons here. Oh no! So it's a kind of like a lemonade, a lemonada.
You got the cadences. You definitely got. Wait,
maybe I need to be a little bit higher. I don't know, a little bit lower. I'm not quite sure. He moves his voice around.
Does he talk like that, or is that him in films?
I mean, I watched the impression came because I watched the like interview with him, which was like he was like talking about his wife, and he's like, oh yes, so I have a wife who's a ballerina, she's fantastic. God, her legs stretch all the way up, all the way down. And we were at a restaurant the other day. They brought us the water, or as they call it in the Spanish, the agua.
How about okay, fine, because this is a very patriotic podcast, as I'm famous for.
Obviously. Yeah.
I've got the only thing that I could think for you to read was the UK national anthem.
Oh, of course.
As Michael McIntyre.
Oh, as Michael McIntyre. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
And remember, we have a king now.
Oh yeah, got to change it up.
No blasphemy from you.
So, God save our gracious king. Long live our noble king. Yes, you know, because we've got to, you know, save the king. You know, we've got to save him because he needs saving. It's not like he lives in a massive, you know, not like he lives in a massive house called Buckingham Palace. It's surrounded by guards constantly. No, we've got to save him. We've got to save him. We've got to be. Yes, that's brilliant. We put that in the national anthem because you know that would not save the poor. No, can't save the poor. No saving the poor. Got to just save the king. Yes, right. So he's going to be happy and glorious. That's fantastic for him. So happy that he is happy and glorious, and he's going to reign over us. Oh, great, love it. Yes, so good to see. What is the second verse here? We've got, oh Lord, our God arise. Is our God now? He's our God. Okay.
He's our God.
Right.
We all have the same God.
Oh, we've got the same God, and it is a man who's the brother of a nonce. Fantastic. Yes. Yeah. We know. Scatter our enemies. You know, scatter them about. You know, I feel like we don't want to scatter them. Maybe bring them in one place so we can take them on one-on-one. I think if we scatter them around, then we get surrounded. You know, we're quite a small island. We're quite a small little island, and you know, make them fall. Okay, make them fall. That's good. You know, that's a good message. Confound their politics, frustrate their knavish tricks. I feel like this is the old school one that hates the Irish. I feel like this is the one that hates the Irish, isn't it?
This is the one that's going after the Irish. I remember
Yeah.
that one. That was in my lifetime because I'm Michael McIntyre. Not
This is the first thing that came up on Google. That's what Google thinks. The
Wow.
British national anthem.
Yes, yes. We got to save all the foreigners, of course.
Of course.
Yes, yeah.
Of course.
Of course, that's got to be in the national anthem.
It does, of
because
course.
the British, love the colonisation. That's right.
Thank you.
I feel like Michael McIntyre might be slightly more into that because he's
Yeah.
so posh. He might be like, yes, let's colonise the rest of the world.
That's literally
Let's get my froppish hair on TVs in Sri Lanka.
That you hit on, like, that's what he always does. He always says something and then he explains it.
Yeah.
And then he says it again.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's what we have to do.
Yeah, no, of course.
That's what
what
we're
we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, no, of course we got to open the boot from 3 miles away. Because we've got these buttons now. I'm walking through Waitrose. Like Waitrose.
Of course he's walking
And
through Waitrose.
and the boots are opening left, right, and centre. They're gonna hit me because they've got the button now. They press the button. It's like, oh love, I'm coming. We're coming in the plane, and I can see the car in the parking lot. Let's open the boot, ready, prepared for the bags when we come down to land.
Oh my god! Oh man, I can only do one impression.
What's your impression? I want to hear this.
I have one impression, and this is I haven't done it in years, but you have watched Dark Knight, Heath Ledger.
Yeah, of course.
Joker.
Yeah.
That is the only one that I can do.
Yeah, see, those were the ones I kind of started out doing. They're like the character ones.
Can you do it? Can you do it?
I don't know. I haven't done this since the Michael McIntyre was the last time when I first did the Michael McIntyre when I was 14. So that was the last time I think I did that. You go first. You see if you
Okay,
can.
let me think. Okay. Want to know how I got these scars? My father was a drinker and a fiend. And one night he goes off crazier than usual. Mommy,
Damn, you got the whole monologue.
Yeah, no, I do.
There you go.
I do. It's like, and it changes every time. You have to learn every single version.
God.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I ever remember saying is him was, oh God, no. I really like a guy with a plan, Harvey. I'm like a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do if I caught one. If I caught one.
Yeah. You can't start with the head. The victim gets a little fuzzy.
Yeah, when he slams his head into
When he slams his head.
It's
Such a good film. Hey, Tommy, it's been so good.
Oh, it's been a
having you.
pleasure, man.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
coming
very
on,
much.
man.
Thanks for
Honestly,
having me.
your
That's 100%.
impressions were so good.
Thank you very,
we'll
very
get you
much.
back on again.
Oh,
man.
100%. I'd love that.
Perfect. Thanks, man.
Brilliant.
I'll see you
Thank
later.
Yeah, see you
Bye-bye.
later. Cheers.